But first things first, let's get into the pull list. So like I was saying, it's the week of February 18th. We got 9 things on the pull list for a total of $43 under my $50 budget, which is good. And it's a great week as I'm scrolling through. You guys are seeing. But the pick of the week, it's got to be Absolute Batman number 17, probably, right? It says here that Absolute Poison Ivy sinks her teeth into Arc M. Dr. Pamela Isley has been unleashed from the Arc M facility with an unending hate and burning fire for revenge on Gotham City and those who put her in the belly of the beast. When Batman hunts her down, he must survive a labyrinth of leveled horrors, one more gruesome after the next, as he tries to save the city from a monster it created. So it looks like we don't have Nick Dragotta on this issue in particular. That's all right. Give Nick Dragotta a break. We got Eric Canete coming in. We still got Frank Martin and Clayton Cowles. Scott Snyder writing, of course. So we get Absolute Poison Ivy introduced to the story, as we see here on the cover. She's got Batman kind of in a pickle, you could say. And I just like the design of this Absolute Poison Ivy. Did I say Wonder Woman? Anyways, forget about that. There is 28 variant covers, so a lot of cool stuff. Clayton Crane, Dan Panosian, the interior artist for the issue, Carl, and then a lot of ones featuring Absolute, the villains of some of the Absolute Universe villains. So yeah, that's got to be pick of the week this Wednesday for February 18th, New Comic Book Day. Absolute Batman number 17th. Excited about that. Next up, let's talk about Ultimate Spider-Man number 24, right? So this is it. The end of the line, the last you'll see of Spidey and his Ultimate Friends. Is that right? Let me see. Is this the last issue for real? Wow. February 18th is the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. That's kind of crazy. How are we feeling about that? Ultimate Spider-Man coming to an end officially. So yeah, this is the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man from Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cocchetto. Someone was telling me that this got delayed. Is that right? So yeah, the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm not sure how I feel about this series as a whole. Like, I think when we take these 24 issues and we look back, I don't know if this series lived up to the potential that it had going into it. Remember the hype when Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 was coming out? The hype was crazy, dude. Everybody was going nuts for it. I would say it probably peaked around maybe like when you thought Harry died, right? That's probably the point where everybody was like, wow, this series is like, you can't miss comic books. But yeah, ever since then, I don't know, dude. So the end of Ultimate Spider-Man potentially, Marco Cocchetto and Jonathan Hickman saying bye-bye on the series. Let's jump into Captain America number 7. So with the Ultimate Universe ending, I'm thinking Ultimate Captain America number 7 and the rest of the Captain America side of things, this is probably my favorite Marvel series. I think that what Chip Zdarsky is doing is really cool. We don't have the Valerio Schiti on this arc or potentially this issue. I'm not sure if Valerio Schiti is coming back in a later arc. But overall, I think that Chip Zdarsky is just laying the groundwork for some really interesting stuff. And yeah, I like that we're jumping back into the present day of the Marvel Universe. The first arc had us dealing with Doom in Latveria and kind of a really interesting point in Captain America sort of re-emerging from the ice from the first time. So that's pretty cool with that first arc, and they're keeping it going with Captain America into the second arc. So looking forward to that one. Let's talk about Fantastic Four number 8, sticking along the lines of Marvel. It's back before everything changed, and I'm still in grad school. Just a kid, really. My name is Susan Storm, and I've just become the Invisible Girl. Our first encounter was with the Mole Man. He was the first time we found it necessary to use our powers to truly become the Fantastic Four. I didn't mean for this to end up. I didn't mean for things to end up the way they turned out, but there are some mistakes you just can't take back, and there are some wounds that don't kill you, even though they should. All right, so a lot of gobbledygook there in the solicitation. Doesn't really tell us what to expect in the issue. The Invisible Woman Part 3, this fun arc from Humberto Ramos and Ryan North on the writing. So if you guys are missing out on this Fantastic Four series, I recommend hopping back on it. I really been enjoying this new volume once it relaunched with the number 1. I think that Ryan North is just so in tune with the Fantastic Four cast characters. I think he really nails down each characterization. And Humberto Ramos' art, pretty solid stuff. And the fact that he's still on at 8 issues in is really cool. So yeah, looking forward to Fantastic Four issue number 8. Next up, guys, for New Comic Book Day, February 18th, let's talk about Nightwing 135 real quick. So we know that Nightwing, Dick Grayson is in He's fighting the Zanny. He's like in the fifth dimension. It's getting real weird and wacky. And it looks like Nightwing still has a chance to save a bunch of the kids that the Zanny has kidnapped. And so that was his goal into going into the fifth dimension. And so it looks like with Nightwing Prime at his side, so Nightwing Prime is a character that introduced in a past arc from Dan Watters here. And it looks like, Nightwing Prime's coming back into the story. He's been out of commission for a little bit. The battle is going to reach its breaking point and sacrifices must be made. But while the city takes its first steps towards recovery, a darker plan begins to take shape in Bloodhaven's halls of power. Don't miss the issue that changes Bloodhaven forever. So I think that Dan Watters is really, really on top of the Nightwing series. He's doing a great job with it. Extra Soy is leaving the title in a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate because I thought he had a really cool look for Nightwing. It looks like in issue number 136, we get Dennis Cohen, the legendary artist, coming in to be our series artist, and that's really exciting for a lot of people. We'll have to see what this new era of Nightwing is going to be looking like, starting in issue 136, but we still have issue 135 to go. Let's see if they can land a plan on this arc. I think it's really solid. I would say probably the first arc from Dan Watters is probably his best. Second arc, I'm not the biggest fan of the fifth dimension stuff, so when he was having Nightwing go into the Titan Tower that was invaded by the fifth dimension, that was an alright arc for me. I thought this third arc was probably the second best out of those three, and really recommend jumping on the Nightwing title. Really fun stuff there. Let's jump over to DC, or keeping the DC side of things, and talk about Wonder Woman number 30. So this is part 2 of The Village, which is this little arc from Stephanie Williams coming into doing the writing with Jeffrey Spokes on the art. So if you guys haven't been keeping up with the Wonder Woman side of things, I think that this little arc is pretty solid. I thought the first part of it was really pretty good. Nothing like super crazy. It's essentially Diana dropping off her kid Trinity into being a little bit of a daycare for the character, and being taken care of by the other members of the Wonder Woman family on Themyscira, while Wonder Woman goes off to like a spa or something like that, because she needs a little break sometimes, right? So this is going to be the second part of the arc. The legacy number is 830. So nothing significant coming up. I don't know why I said that. Wonder Woman issue 30. Jeez Louise, can't really talk today. So yeah, Stephanie Williams and Jeffrey Spokes. Let's jump over to the indie side of things, because we got Exquisite Corpses number 10. So this is a really fun series from Jordi Belair is coming in to write this one. It's cool seeing Jordi Belair pick up some more writing gigs, because usually Jordi Belair is just a really incredible colorist. But then we also have James Tynion IV as the writer for the rest of the series. We have Michael Walsh, of course, teaming up with Mariana Ignazi. Mariana Ignazi is a really cool artist, teaming up with Michael Walsh. So that's really cool to see. And Exquisite Corpses number 10. If you guys have been missing out on the Exquisite Corpses title, real fun slasher kind of horror stuff from James Tynion IV and Michael Walsh and the rest of the team over at Exquisite Corpses. Just really great stuff. It's kind of hard to explain what's going on, because there's all these killers. It's like a battle royale type of situation, and the last killer alive wins the whole thing. So that's kind of the groundwork for the story. And I think that there's trade paperback number 1 is already out. Trade paperback 2 coming out in March 18th. So if you guys are looking to catch up on Exquisite Corpses, really great series. Definitely recommend it. Jumping back into the pull list for the week, G.I. Joe number 19. So this is an interesting thing, because this is the fallout of the Dreadnought War. It looks like we have Josh Williamson and Andrea Milana. I think that they did, the Cobra Commander title. So that's pretty cool, seeing this artist that previously did something in the G.I. Joe universe coming back in for the main title to be messing around with Josh Williamson. Man, G.I. Joe is so sick. It really is my favorite part of the Energon universe. The action is really there. I'm getting more and more attached to these characters. I would say it's easier for me to get attached to the G.I. Joe characters versus the Transformers. I'm just like, I don't know the Transformer names, bro. So it's tough for me. There's a lot of them. A lot of Autobots are getting more and more revived in the series. So it's been tough for me. But yeah, Josh Williamson and Andrea Milani coming in with G.I. Joe number 19. It says that Joe versus Transformer. The secret is out when Duke discovers that Clutch has been hiding the Autobot Hound from the Joes. Can anyone stop him from putting down Hound permanently? So we know that the G.I. Joe Duke character has this like vendetta against Transformers. I mean, he saw, when he was flying that plane or whatever, he saw, I think it was Starscream, like clapped his buddy, just clapped him flat. So G.I. Joe Duke has like a real big vendetta against Transformers. Even if they're, members of the Autobots, he doesn't really see a distinction. He just hates all Transformers. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So the final pull for the day is going to be End of Life #1. This is a new DC Vertigo title, written by Kyle Starks with art from Steve Pugh. They previously did Peacemaker Tries Hard, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid if you're looking for... The characterization was very similar to Christopher in the TV show Peacemaker. So looking for that, check out the Peacemaker Tries Hard Black Label series. But it looks like this one is going to be a Hitmaker series, a Hitmaker type of series. Professional hitman Eddie Stallion has messed up. He's accidentally robbed the Raven, a high-ranking boss on the international cabal of assassins, the Menagerie, of which Eddie is a member. So now, after he has robbed them, he's going to be going back home to be chilling, I guess. And they're going to be sending assassins after our main character here. So yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting for our character. Finds his resentful father. Yes, his dad's dying of cancer. So that's a little bit of a twist to the story as well. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying, the potential that DC Vertigo has. I thought that, as we are going to talk about in a second when we get into our comic book reviews, when I review Bleeding Hearts, Vertigo's off to such a great start, and this is part 2 of Vertigo's return. So you got to be hyped for that. End of Life #1. But that's the pull list for the week. Anything else that I should be adding, let me know down in the comments. And of course, while you're down there, like if you like, love it if you loved, and if you really like it, you can hype it. I would gotta say though, my pick of the week has got to be Absolute Batman #17, just keeping it going. Close second, probably Captain America #7. End of Life #1 is up there as well. Even though I'm not as anticipating it as opposed to other Vertigo titles, I'm still anticipating because it is part of that DC Vertigo resurgence. So yeah, that's the pull list for the week. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, this clip or this video is going to be part of New Comic Book Weekly. You guys can catch it live. You guys could be like the people in the chat, like Vactor. We got Paul Dev in the chat. We got Orin Oracle was here earlier. We got Danny P, of course. We got Derek Seaborn. A lot of people hanging out in the chat as we go live every single week at 4 p.m. Eastern. We do the comic book pull list, we do the comic book reviews, and then I do a massive, random, big topic for your guys' enjoyment. So hopefully you guys enjoyed another episode of New Comic Book Weekly for the date of February 16th. Hope you guys had a good one. And yeah, catch you guys for the next week's New Comic Book Weekly. Yeah, catch you guys later.